Hey guys, here we are. Got the mosquito net on, ready to be used. And we are going to take Monroe. She's ready to go. It is much cooler here today. The sun is quite warm. However, because it's not super humid, and it's only like 70 degrees, 72, 73, I'm gonna keep her, obviously, because I haven't changed her. She's gonna be in her sleep suit. So let's go for a walk and have a chat. Guys, so we have Monroe in the back. I am in my car. I'm gonna go probably to the place I enjoy the most to go take a walk. And I have a fun topic to chat about. The Squish is where it's at, guys. That's what I'm going to talk about. And this is a topic I've talked about with my friends time and time again. But I'm really excited because this is our maiden voyage to try out the new Orbit G5 baby stroller system. So I'm really excited about that. I've been dying to use it, and finally, the weather has cooperated, and we're going to take a nice walk, and I'm sure I'll thoroughly enjoy it. Hopefully you guys, enjoy coming along with me. So we will be back shortly, guys. And I'm at my favorite place. It's a neighborhood I used to live in, actually, once upon a time. I feel like I wish I could show you the house, but I think that would just not be good. It's changed a lot since we lived here, though. Yeah, but it's a beautiful neighborhood. So I want to chat with you guys. If you hear that, that's my car keys. Actually, maybe I'll put those on in my pocket. It's gorgeous out, you guys. It is so pretty. And finally, like, blue skies. Like, it will get cloudy a little bit later today. But for right now, I'm gonna enjoy it. So, topic. The Squish is where it's at. And what I'm talking about is, of course, silicone. Or, as my UK friends would say, the squidge. The squidge is where it's at. Which always makes me giggle. And this is actually a topic, or like something that I've chatted about with my friends on several occasions and with several friends because after collecting, reborns, we have reborns, a lot of us have reborns, a lot of us have silicones, and most of us seem to find that we have a preference after a while. And so, therefore, honestly, I'm just shifting the blanket, and I'll show you Monroe shortly. But ultimately, like, we have tried multiple mediums, and there are people around, FYI. So there are multiple mediums that we've enjoyed. Most commonly, of course, is going to be vinyl reborns. However, if you've never experienced the squish factor of a silicone, well, that's the missing pieces that people find that click for realism once they've experienced a silicone. So it's why I think I really love seeing other people's experiences when they get their first silicone and what they think of it and, like, their reaction. I think that it's just one of those things that until you experience it, it's hard to explain, even though I've tried to many times. But I've realized that people just they're not going to fully understand it until they actually have one in their hands, they feel it. It's the squish factor, or squidge, squish factor. And it's also the weightiness, the heaviness, or I like to call it the density of it, when it's like the heaviness in your hands. Another collector recently explained how nobody had explained to her what the heaviness of a silicone baby's head would feel like in your hands, because it feels so realistic, you guys. And she's right. I don't think it's something I've ever talked about, but yet it's something I would say I've fully experienced, you know. It makes me giggle when I hear other people's new experiences, because you can never get those first experiences back, right? Like, we only experience them once, and then you relive those experiences, or you hope to. And I was actually talking to my friend Lee last night, and it's like, there's just something so special and unique about the feel of a silicone that you just will never get with a reborn. You just won't, no matter how well weighted, how great the sculpt is. It's just one of those things. I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna show you guys where I'm at. So this is the area, and this is the neighborhood I actually used to live in. And behind those trees is the church that I like to park in. And then this is just a very quiet road, peaceful, even though there are people over there chit-chatting. Like, I won't lie, there are people there chit-chatting. And I actually have Monroe covered because the sun is blaring down on us. So I'll wait for a little bit before I pick this up, and actually, well, I can show you. Let's peek in, shall we? There she is. She says, oh, hello there, aunties. It's good to not focus on her because it can't pick her up through the mesh. But this is the area. There we go. But yeah, you guys, like, it's gorgeous. Like, look, like, how can you not enjoy? And this morning I kind of had a bit of a irritation moment where I thought for sure it was very hazy and very what's the word, foggy, and I thought it was we were getting more of that wildfire smoke that was coming down from Canada, which ended up being that it was just fog. It was a false alarm, but I literally jumped to conclusions and went, the day that I planned to do a walk outside video for the first time. You know, I've been dying to use the stroller, and when I get to a place that I can show you guys, I'll definitely I'll show you the stroller in its full glory, because you guys, y'all know I've been like dying to use this, but like it's literally been either bad weather or smoke. Actually, now we're in a little bit of shade. It's so easy to use too. This stroller is everything. It's so much nicer than the original. But there's Monroe, and I've got the mosquito net on. But look at this beautiful stroller. It's so easy and so maneuverable. Like, it's just so much easier to walk and have one hand only on this. This is, I feel like it's like the difference of a luxury car versus an economy car, if that makes sense, on the way it feels. Like, no joke. And if you hear noise coming, it's a car coming, but you know, they'll pass quickly. But people are very friendly in this neighborhood. It's a very lovely neighborhood. But yeah, doesn't she look sweet, you guys? And she's still in this really sweet sleep suit, because it's warm but it's not hot, and our house has been extremely cold because I keep it cold with the air conditioning blazing. But back to our topic, back to the topic. So honestly, the squish factor, whatever we would like to call it. I really love the word squidge better than squish, to be honest with you. I think that it's a more suitable description. Squidgy, you know. And for majority of, especially full body silicone dolls, their heads are solid. So they're going to be one of the heaviest portions of their bodies, just like a living newborn would be, which is why it feels so realistic. That's exactly why. So to Anne, who was talking about this, nobody told her. Nope, we haven't discussed it. We haven't talked about it. It's not something I brought up in a topic, but it's so, so true. And it does make a difference. It really does. Because it just adds to that extra bit of realism that we're all hoping to achieve. And that's what it is. It's that silicone dolls have a weightiness. That's kind of what I'm chalking it up to be. And I'm gonna actually turn around because there's somebody out mowing the lawn. It's gonna get loud. So we'll just turn around. But yeah, so what's interesting, I should turn the camera around and show you real quick again, but I'll wait. It's just so pretty in this neighborhood because there's lots of trees. But okay, so when we look for realism, for some of us, and not everybody can really enjoy a full body silicone or even a silicone at all because they are too heavy, simply because they have like back issues or whatever. And it's one of those things where a runner just went by. It's one of those things where, you know, they are heavy, but the heaviness is that of a real baby. And that's really when I'm looking at like all of the things that make the realism, that make the experience, that make me swoon, that make me keep coming back to this particular baby, is because she's got that, you know, density, that weightiness, the heaviness in her head. Like I have to support it. You can't, you know, with a reborn, you don't really have to support them. They just don't feel alive. They just don't. And no matter how you try to describe it or explain it or weight it, or, you know, it's never gonna feel the same as a silicone. And then the one thing that always gets me is when I'm holding Monroe for any length of time, the warming of the silicone and then the squish of the warm silicone. There's just something so cool about it that makes me feel like I'm holding a living baby. And that to me is what the experience is all about. That's how I check all of my boxes of what I need to really thoroughly enjoy a doll. It's also why I can, you know, enjoy a reborn, but it's in a different way. It's always in a different way. A reborn for me is you put it in something pretty and you pose it and you leave it be and you just admire it from afar. Silicones for me, even though I admire Monroe from afar always, I'm always admiring her, and not always picking her up, but when I do pick her up, that's the it factor for me. That's where it's at. It's the squish. It's the feel of the squish in her. Like when I pick her up and I feel like her back, she does not have a backbone, no, but she is sculpted to sort of have a backbone, if that makes sense. And so when I palpitate like the back of her, because it's you know, her tummy, her back, and it's thicker silicone, it does feel exactly how a newborn would feel, because it's almost like there's a, I don't know, it's a little bit more stiff in the center, so there's support there somehow. I don't know how, but like it feels like it would when you would, you know, palpitate the back of a living baby when you pick them up. And there's just, it's so interesting to me because it gets me every time. I won't lie, it gets me every time, you guys. Like, I'm almost surprised by it, which is silly. You know, I've experienced a lot of beautiful full body silicone dolls and partial silicone dolls, and like, it gets me every time, literally. I'm just like, why am I so wowed by this again, still, so many years in? But it also brings me back to the first time I experienced a silicone doll, the feel of it, the awe of it. And I remember when I got my first Janica. Oh, you guys, she was my first full body silicone doll. Way back in 2011, 2012 time frame, that was when I experienced my first full body silicone doll, and it was Janica. And even though it wasn't the super soft squishy, silicone. It was softer than anything at it, you know, for its time in comparison. And it was magnificent. I just remember feeling her fingers, her hands, and just thinking, oh my God, this is the most magnificent thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I never want to lose that feeling. And so I think that with Monroe, I am able to keep that feeling. And that to me is so important. So every time I pick her up, I like relive that squidge, the squish, the amazing feeling, the weightiness of her. And it's absolutely wonderful. And I hope that never goes away. Like, I really, really hope it never, ever goes away. But I'm going to pause and I'll be back. I'm back. It's actually quite busy over here today. There's a lot of people out jogging, probably because it cooled off a little bit. But yeah, so I love this neighborhood. It's so pretty over here. So I am curious how you guys feel. If anybody out there that, you know, those of you that have not experienced the silicone, do have an interest in experiencing it? And if you do have silicones, you know, I want to hear, like, I would love to hear your opinion on, is it the squish factor for you? Like, what is it that drew you in? And do you, I don't know, do you relive that first moment, your first experience every time you pick your silicone baby up? Like, I love talking about silicone. I don't know why. I think I told Lee last night, I'm like, I could talk about silicone for hours, and the comparisons and the things I like and the things that I don't prefer, and why things matter and why things don't. And, you know, just, it takes me back to my original, like, first experience, I think, ultimately, of what it was like to experience it for the first time. I think that's why I go seeking out videos to watch too, like first full body silicone box opening or first silicone box opening. Those types of videos I love, because the joy of someone experiencing it for the first time is just unlike anything else. Like, it really is, like, I love it. It fulfills me. It makes me feel all the warm and fuzzies. And if you haven't been able to experience a full body silicone, I hope every collector that wants to experience it gets to, because it really is just so magnificent. There's nothing like it. I don't know. Like I said, I hope that feeling for me never goes away. I really do. Because it's so wonderful, and I want everybody to be able to experience it, because it's that wonderful. It gives all the feels, guys. All right, so I'm back to my car. There's the beautiful church behind us, and someone was actually working in this little, I think they have like plants and things here. Let's see. Oh, I don't have the ability to flip it around while I'm videoing, so that's where they have like some plants and vegetation and such. It's very pretty here, and this all connects and goes all the way around. Like, this whole neighborhood just goes all the way around and connects into a circle, which is lovely. So okay, I'm gonna load her up and I will be back. To wrap this up, I would love to hear, you know, what your experiences are, if it's the squish factor for you, if it's something different. So I include like the weightiness and how a silicone feels in your arms, in the whole squidge factor and the heating up of the silicone, all of that stuff that I absolutely adore. As you see, she's still partially covered. It's quite busy over here. And the nicest people, like, everybody waves and says hello. It's nice. It's one of the reasons why I miss this neighborhood. Not that my current neighborhood is just as nice, but because I know people, that's why I won't walk in my current neighborhood. The fear, you guys, of being found out. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts. Like, if you have a silicone, what is it about the silicone that makes you, you know, squeal with joy and delight? I would love to hear your thoughts. So hopefully you've enjoyed our maiden voyage of the Orbit Baby G5 system stroller. You guys, I have to say, if I were to write a review on this stroller, I would say I would give it like 5 stars. And I would highly recommend it to all of my friends or anybody that I know that's having a baby or has a baby, because it really is so smooth. Like everything there weren't many things I didn't like about my earlier version. However, there were things that were clunky about it. And I have to say, hands down, they fixed everything. And it is the most smooth ride for baby, and also for me to push it with one hand, being able to video. And that for a reborn collector is super, super important, is that you can maneuver with one hand, especially if you like to take your doll out and chat while you're walking or whatever it might be. So highly recommend the stroller. I love it. I absolutely love it. It was such a good investment, and I'm sweating, you guys, because the sun is fully out, and even though it's only 74 degrees, but it feels much, much warmer because I was just out in the full sun. That's why I kept her covered. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed our chat and our walk and seeing the stroller out in its glory for the very first time. But yeah, I hope you're all having a great Saturday. I keep thinking it's like Sunday because I was off yesterday, but I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And Monroe and I will see you very, very soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.